What's up, y'all? Welcome to Country with Noah, or welcome back to Country with Noah. Today I am going to review Mayor of Kingstown Season 4, Episode 3. So, this show, I think, is one of Taylor Sheridan's best shows that he's created. He doesn't write on the show anymore, but he's still an executive producer. And what this episode is about is um, the fallout from Corny's death, um, and you have like Robert stalking the DA Evelyn. You have Robert going into a drunk stupor. You have Mike trying to defend his brother, and that antagonistic relationship between the new warden and Mike is going to be a big point of the season, right? Because the warden wants nothing to do with Mike, but Mike has to insert himself in prison because he is a middleman, right? He has to keep the law enforcement happy and the he has to keep law enforcement happy and he has to keep the criminals happy. So he has to insert himself, and plus he has his brother in there, so he's got to insert himself on what into these matters, and the warden doesn't want him there. And then you have Cindy and Bunny's guard who killed Robert on Mike's team, basically, and you have Torres, who's on the Warden's team, right? So you can see the team start to build, and then you have the partnership between Frank and Bunny continuing and growing and stuff like that, and then you have the cartel, who the end of this episode literally went in to one of Bunny's establishments and like went scorched earth on them, right? Like brought a flamethrower, burned a bunch of shit, and then he burned a bunch of shit, and then they and killed a bunch of Bunny's guys. So Bunny's not going to be very happy about that. Bunny and Frank aren't going to be very happy about that. And I think from a line that Frank said in this episode, I think he's going to groom Bunny to take over for him, right? Like both Kingstown and Detroit. And yeah, so that's going to be interesting. And like Mike, Bunny, and Frank are all gonna have to make an alliance, and then you have Mike's team of the two cops that he has on his side, and then you have Edie Falco's character, the new warden, and her cops on her side, and those two. I'm not saying they're gonna come to blows, Mike and the warden, but they might. Like, dude, because the warden basically treated Mike like a child. And Mike doesn't like being treated like a child. He doesn't really give a fuck about what you want. You have to do stuff for him, or some bad stuff happens to you, right? He doesn't defend you anymore, right? But, like, this warden doesn't seem like she's playing. Mike obviously isn't playing, so it's gonna be very interesting to see where this goes. For me, like, I know Taylor's not writing the show anymore, but he's still an executive producer. For me, Taylor is really good, and Taylor and his writers are really good at making complex, deep characters. Like, sometimes they do something good, sometimes they do something bad, but you still want to root for them. And when they do something really bad, like Jamie Dutton, you don't want to root for them. You hate them as much as anybody else would, right? But in terms of Mayor of Kingstown, what he does really well here is he created characters like Mike McCletsky, who does some very, very, very bad things, but he he does some very, very, very bad things, but he's still like the protagonist, right? And when you have Bunny, who does even worse things, but you see why he does those things, and you want to root for him. So, yeah, like that's the greatness of this show, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, as I continue to say, like Taylor Sheridan will be a pillar on this channel. I will cover everything that this dude makes for the rest of my life. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.